There seems to be a cycle in politics where um, a plurality or even a majority of the American people um, early on in a conflict support the cause as righteous and they're all in, but as the costs of that foreign policy decision are revealed, people get more and more skeptical of why are we there, why did we go. I think that's happening in on Ukraine right now. But before we get into Ukraine, I wanted to ask you quickly. So we had Kelly Vlahos and Matt Purple on the show, um, right, like just days after the Biden administration pulled out of Afghanistan, and we were struggling with everyone wants everything to be a binary choice now, and my own perspective, and I think the perspective of all of us at the time was good for him for actually keeping his word and getting out, but man, that's a shit show. Like, can you agree on both of those things at the same time? What was your perspective on getting out of Afghanistan?
I kind of like how you set this up. And by the way, Kelly and Matt are fantastic. You should definitely follow their work on foreign policy. So I think that Biden made the right decision to follow through with the withdrawal that President Trump started. I think both President Trump and President Biden deserve credit for resisting pressure not to withdraw and to basically keep muddling along. At the end of the day, there was no viable alternative to withdrawal. The alternative they were offering was essentially to keep losing slowly.
Yeah.
President Trump got essentially backed into a corner, and his national security staff pressured him to surge into Afghanistan. And he did a mini surge, and you increased the level of bombing in the country to record levels. Like, we were bombing the crap out of that country. Record levels of ordnance were being dropped. In those 2 years before the peace talks that Trump initiated with Ambassador Khalilzad, the Taliban actually were gaining ground. Is that they were slowly strangling these major cities and slowly taking over these districts, despite all this ordnance we were dropping, despite all the money we were spending, and despite the fact that we had put in essentially 3,000 to 4,000 more troops, including some highly trained special operations units. And ultimately, that was because the Afghan government that we had created was so weak and so ineffectual, and for most Afghans was not a viable alternative to the Taliban. So President Trump was right to have Bashar Khalilzad negotiate a diplomatic solution, create a path to withdrawal and say, look, America is leaving and is now up to the people of Afghanistan to take control of their destiny. And when President Biden was confronted with the option whether or not to follow through with that, he chose to withdraw, and I think he made the right decision.